The Ara Pacis is one of those Roman monuments that seems straightforward until you look a little closer, but nothing about it is simple. The altar stood originally in the Campus Martius, aligned within the larger Augustan program that included the horologium and the mausoleum. The structure itself is a rectangular precinct wall enclosing the altar proper. The exterior is where the real business unfolds. Start at the lower register. Acanthus scrolls run in disciplined abundance along the base of the outer walls. The vegetation is lush, birds nesting, tendrils branching, small creatures, hatchlings, frogs, lizards, cicada everywhere. It communicates controlled fertility in an organized and productive brand of nature. The carving is crisp, rhythmic, repetitive. The spot the wildlife game keeps it from being sterile. Above this greenery, and it was certainly painted green in its day, rise the figural friezes. The short east and west sides are mythic panels. One shows a seated female figure, often identified as Pax, or maybe Italia, or Tellus, depending on current trends in scholarship. But the ambiguity was likely intentional. Whoever she is, she cradles infants, flanked by personifications of the winds, with animals reclining at ease. Water flows, plants flourish. The composition is symmetrical, but not rigid, at least not as rigid as most Republic art in similar roles. The message is unmistakable. Peace produces abundance. Under Augustus, we're all taken care of. Opposite is a more difficult panel, sometimes identified as Aeneas sacrificing, sometimes as Numa. If Aeneas, then we have Rome's Trojan founder performing pietas. If Numa, then Rome's second king, lawgiver, and priest. Either way, the emphasis is ritual correctness, ancestral continuity, the sacred foundation of Roman order. The scene is restrained. There's no theater, just duty. Spend some time on the long north and south friezes. They show a procession of specific individuals, many identifiable: priests, magistrates, the imperial family. Augustus himself appears, veiled as Pontifex Maximus. Agrippa, Livia, and Tiberius appear. Impatient kids tug at garments. It's tempting to see this as a snapshot of a historical event, but don't. The procession is too composed to be a snapshot. Figures overlap in shallow relief, heads aligned in a controlled rhythm. It is an imagined memory. The closest precedent is the Pan-Athenaic frieze on the Parthenon. That comparison was intentional too. Augustus's Rome is consciously inheriting classical Greece. But there are differences that matter. The Parthenon frieze dissolves individuals into civic ideal. The Ara Pacis insists on recognizable persons and roles. Dynastic continuity, something the Republic prided itself on avoiding, is justified by being embedded in state ritual. Look closely at the kids. Their presence is not sentimental. Augustus had just passed marriage legislation encouraging elite reproduction. The monument visualizes compliance. Kids aren't caste extras, they are policy. One foreign-looking child, perhaps from the Parthian royal house or a barbarian prince, stands among them. Rome does not just conquer, it rearranges the future by educating other people's sons. Rome incorporates. The carving style is somewhere between late Hellenistic naturalism and late Republican clarity. Drapery clings but doesn't flutter extravagantly. Faces are individualized. Space is shallow, yet there's an attempt at atmospheric layering. It is neither fully classical nor fully Roman in the later imperial sense. It is Augustan, and by that, I guess we mean to say it is programmatic. Inside the precinct, the altar proper carries bucrania, festoons, and sacrificial implements. The skulls of oxen recall the cost of ritual. Peace is not the absence of blood, it is the proper ordering of it. Garlands hang between the skulls, heavy with fruit. Here, the fertility motif is tethered to ritual. Abundance depends on ritual correctness. The enclosure walls interior are mostly bare. The contrast between the lush exterior is deliberate. Public display outside, sacred focus within. The Ara Pacis is part of Augustus's claim that he restored the Republic while refounding the state around himself. The Res Gestae later listed his achievements in deceptively modest terms. The altar does something similar, visually. It shows senators and priests, and tradition continuing. There is no overt triumphalism. Yet the thing is born from conquest. The peace it celebrates follows decades of civil war. The absence of battle scenes is itself a statement. Violence has been translated into order. The monument was buried by shifting river levels in medieval times when Rome experienced significant contraction. It was rediscovered in the Renaissance and reassembled under Mussolini. The modern glass pavilion by Richard Meier frames the altar in a minimalist box, isolating it from the busy neighborhood. Augustus's argument here is elegant, though a bit fragile. It depends on the viewer accepting that peace can be personified, that lineage can be stabilized, that nature itself ratifies political order. The monument asks you to see continuity where there had recently been rupture. Does it work? Let us know what you think.